Hello, everyone. It's Marielle. Welcome to another episode. I'm so excited to be here live with you all. If you're catching this on the replay, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today I'm talking about niching down and the truth about niching down and the reason I'm doing this. And I'm also going to talk to you about like the difference between attracting versus targeting. You know, niching down is one of the trickiest thing for everyone. This is usually where people get stuck. But once you understand what I'm about to share with you and the truth about it, then your business becomes so much more easy, more fun, and profitable as well. So this is really at the cornerstone of a profitable business. And the level of resistance that I see in people, in my students, and when we first start working together is real. And I so relate to this because I went through it. And so that's why I want to share with you how to niche down, how to do it correctly, the difference between, like I said, the attracting people and targeting people. So if you don't know me, I'm Marielle. I'm a business coach. I'm a digital marketer. I help modern mystics. I help heart-centered online experts launch and scale their online business. I'm also super woo-woo, so you might know me from some of my other deeper videos and content that I go through. But one of the things that I love to do is I love to combine soulful mindset with real world strategies. I really am very passionate about making sure that in your business, you're really goddessing up, boss babe, right? That you're really standing in your power and that you're leading visibly with confidence and that you are sharing your message with confidence. And at the cornerstone of this is really understanding who your ideal client is. So today I'm going to dispel a lot of lies, and by the end of this episode, I feel like you're really going to walk away with a clear sense of what attracting your ideal client should really feel like and be like, and also a clear sense of what not to do. Okay. So to start off, and please let me know if you're joining me live, say hello. I can see all of your comments here. And let me know, what are you struggling with the most? I would love to answer your questions or your personal scenario, who you feel like your ideal client is and where it is that you struggle the most. So I would love to do that for you. So first of all, I want you to understand that niching down is really not about your demographic. Okay. It's not about, whether you're helping someone in their mid 30s or, whether they live, what kind of neighborhood they live in. It's not really about the demographics, and people get really stuck in the whole demographic thing. And hello, love, how are you? So they get stuck in the whole demographic thing, like, oh, I'm a yoga teacher and I help women between the ages of 25 and 35 become more flexible and in tune with themselves through yoga. Okay. So that's really not what your niche is. Your niche is really so much deeper than that. And so one of the things that really that really fascinated me when I first started coaching is I knew internally who my niche was. Like, I knew who I was intuitively, who I was here to help. I was totally fascinated. Hi, Sue. I was totally fascinated with the idea of helping spiritual entrepreneurs and helping these women that I knew were out spreading their message and spreading their light in the world. And I knew that in my heart. I knew it in my head. I just didn't know exactly how to do it. And this was years ago when I first got started. I had a coach, and he said to me, he said, you know what? I don't think that niche is going to be very profitable for you. He said, spiritual women don't like to invest in themselves, and they have a lot of money mindset issues. And so I listened, and still I went in another direction, but something kept pulling me back into into being in service to women who were heart-centered, who wanted to help other people. And so one of the things that I want to let you know that's really, really important is that you in your heart know who you're here to help. But what happens is that the brain doesn't always tangibly understand what you know in your heart. Okay. So this is where the power of niching down and doing the marketing piece of it, right? Which is really a combination of psychology and buyer psychology, as well as intuition and a lot of empathy. Marketing is the science of empathy, and that's what it is. So with that said, knowing that you are already an empath as it is, I want you to really lean in on that intuitive aspect of yourself. You already know who you're here to help. You have that idea, okay? So now the opportunity really does lie in you stepping further into that in a very tangible way. Because like I said, intuition and science are they're pretty much, they're very similar actually, but the science part of it is just literally a little bit more tangible, right? It's putting some data behind it. So, and that's really what's necessary. So it's not going on the angle of empath, right? Like really stepping into the shoes of the people that you are here to help. All right. So as an empath, how does your ideal client feel? What is the actual problems that they are experiencing in their life? Okay. So I want you to go ahead and comment below. Tell me, what do you believe are the problem or problems that your ideal client is going through? And now, if you're watching this on the replay or in the podcast, I want you to know that, inside of the Modern Mystic Business Breakthrough, my big Facebook group, we always do these episodes every single Wednesday. So if I say, I'm reading your comment or whatnot, that's why. So I just wanted to give you a little reference for that. So what problem or problems are your ideal clients trying to fix? And notice how as an empath, you can really use that empathy to listen in on what their days are like. What problems are they facing? Perhaps the problems that they're facing are not really about what you teach at all. It's about something else. For example, if you're a yoga teacher and yoga is your thing, right? You would think, well, I help women and men between the ages of 25 and 40, become more flexible and in tune with themselves through yoga. But maybe the problems that the big problem in their life is that they have no time for themselves, and they really want a practice that is going to give them an hour of dedication to themselves. And because their problem is that they don't have any time for themselves, right? They have a kid, they have a job, they have a family they have to do. So yoga becomes the solution to this problem that they have. Okay. So because marketing is all about empathy, how can you have empathy for someone, for that ideal client? Ask yourself this question, because the answer really is people want to be seen. They want to be heard. So how can you give your client that space, that ideal client, the space to feel listened to feel seen? Right? So let's see. Someone said, want to feel better, look better, no time to learn. So they need to tell them So they need someone to tell them what to do. Yeah. So, and you can even go, if you're inside of the mastermind of the Modern Mystic Business Breakthrough, I'm all about specificity. You can even go deeper than that. Okay. So notice how niching down is not at all about, like, it's not just about the gender. It's not just about the socioeconomics. It's not just about where in the country they live. Okay. It's mostly about, does your ideal client feel seen? Do they feel heard and understood by you? And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is by really tapping into your empathy of their situation, and also doing the research of what those problems are really about. Now, I'm going to let you know that it does take a lot of overcoming the resistance to it. There is so much resistance to doing niching. I see it not only in my world, but in any marketer, any of my friends who are business coaches or marketers themselves. We all say the same thing. There's so much resistance to niching down, and truly a lot of fear. And one of the big fears that people have around niching down is they don't want to leave anyone behind, or they feel that they're going to lose out on business opportunities, or what do they do with the clients that they already have? So, and the truth is that your niche is constantly an evolution. So when you're first launching your business, you're really looking for a starting point. And I like to coach my clients to finding those specific feelings, those specific problems, and starting there. Okay. So if you're someone who has that resistance to, you don't want to leave people behind, this is really good news for you, because you may be able to attract people from completely different demographics, from completely different parts of the world. Maybe they are men and women, but if you speak to the problem and their feelings instead of their demographics, you are going to attract them instead of targeting them. Okay, which is a really different thing. Another thing is, some people think, well, everyone can use what I have to offer. And that's true. But if you're targeting everyone, the chances are that your offers are gonna be more on the surface than you're not going to be able to go as deep with your offers. Okay. So you really do get to go much deeper in your creative process and in your offers, designing your offers, when you decide to cater to a more specific type of individual. Okay. So let me know if this is all making sense. Let's see. They are stuck. And now I'm reading some of your comments here. Your clients are stuck. Okay. So my clients are stuck in some area of life, feeling overwhelmed and not sure how to find balance. So overwhelm and balance, yeah, that's a really big thing. So one of the things that you can ask yourself is, like, how do they feel overwhelmed, in their daily life? What does that look like? So if I had, a camera following you around, what does overwhelm look like? Does it look like overwhelm at work? What are they doing that when they feel overwhelmed, right? What does balance feel like? What scenarios are happening in their daily life where they could use a little more balance, right? So that's where we really go very, very, very deep. That's where I like going really deep inside of the mastermind with my clients, because one of the biggest things that every single one of my clients and students says is, my clients feel like they need transformation, or they need self-love. They need more this or more that. But in order to attract people to you and not necessarily have to chase them all the time, you really have to speak specifically to what that looks like in their life. And here is one of the biggest issues, especially with spiritual entrepreneurs or transformational leaders, right? Is that your work is so deep. It's very soulful, and it's something that happens on the inside, and it's really hard for us to capture what the inside looks like with a video camera, right? So this is the work, ladies. This is the work, and where you really have to meditate on it, and where you really have to use those visualization, that ability to ask the right questions. When you have the right question, you're going to get an answer. If you don't have the right question, you're not going to get the answer, right? And I preach this all the time, that you have to make sure that you can ask yourself, okay, so what is my client doing what is my client thinking on their way to work, right? What are they thinking during their lunch hour? What is annoying and overwhelming them? Is it that they have a little league game and a meeting at the same time, and they have to cook all between the hours of 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. And they have all these things that they have to do between those hours. And that's what's creating the overwhelm. So notice how I just got a lot more specific. Okay. So if I created a piece of content with that level of specificity, and the person that is interacting with that content reads that, they're thinking, oh my God, how does this person know what my life is? That's how you attract them. That's how they feel seen. That's how they feel heard and understood. And when somebody feels seen, heard, and understood, then they're going to follow you. They're going to see what else you have to say. They're going to naturally get curious about what your offers are like. So that's the truth about niching down. The truth is that it's not about the demographic. It's not about where they live. It's not about your brand colors. Somebody said to me the other day that they got advice from somebody else, some other professional or marketing person, saying that it's all about their brand colors. And while branding is such an awesome thing, and creating a beautiful experience for your ideal clients and for just your clients in general is so important, it definitely has a place. It is not what gets someone to say yes to you. What gets someone to say yes to you is whether they really feel seen, heard, and understood by you. Do you have the muscle, the ability to be a true empath for them? And can you describe it in a way that really makes sense for them? Today we were doing we had our business Q&A a little bit earlier inside of the mastermind, and we were talking about how it doesn't matter how amazing you are as a coach and how good you are at it, whether you're a coach or a therapist. I have a ton of doctors. If you don't know how to market and sell and use your words to communicate your empathy, then you can't help enough people. And that's what niching it down is about. So I want you to remember, it's not so much about all the demographics, and it's not even about like getting so niched in one area. It's more about speaking to the problems and feelings and being a true empath to those people. Now, if you can do this correctly, you are going to not only attract people, but you're actually living in your dharma and you're living in your purpose. And so I remember when I was told, you shouldn't be working with spiritual entrepreneurs because they just have a terrible money mindset. How had I taken that advice, I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be listening to this or watching this, so I had to really listen to my inner self, to my heart, to what I knew was my purpose, and then do the work and understand, okay, what is it really like to be this type of, to be a spiritual entrepreneur who is struggling. And sometimes life is going to take you through the same challenges that your ideal clients are going through. So not only do you have the opportunity to be an empath and use your inner senses to understand what they're going through, but look at your own life, because chances are that you are whatever you are helping someone with is something that you went through yourself. Okay, so don't forget about what you went through yourself, what your life looked like, what circumstances you faced during that time. It's so, so, so important. So, so let's see. If you have any other questions, let me know here. So, like I said, niching down is one of those things where, people just get really confused, overwhelmed. So don't allow yourself to get to that point. There's always someone that can help you. Usually what it takes is a few good questions for you to ask yourself. So if you don't have those good, those questions to ask yourself, then find someone that can help you. And don't confuse your business with your charity. Okay. Your business, and I always say it's time, you have to goddess up, boss babe. Part of that goddessing up is understanding that you are in business to make a profit, and you cannot serve unless you are able to sustain your lifestyle and be happy and abundant. Having abundance in your life and in your business is what it's all about, right? So don't confuse your business with your charity. I know you want to help everyone. We all want to help everyone. It's easier to help more people when you are profitable. Okay. Understand that marketing to everyone is really like marketing to no one. Okay. Your messaging is going to be really watered down if you're speaking to everyone. Okay. Another thing that and I will leave you with this, is that it's really important for you to understand that your messaging and when you're deciding on what niche to help out, don't pick an ideal client that you have to educate. Okay. This is really important. So many people, decide to specialize in something because it's so needed in the world. And then they go on this quest to educate everyone about that. And that is the wrong approach. That's like swimming upstream. You want to make sure that you're swimming downstream. Okay. So pick a niche where you are attracting people that already are aware that they have that issue. If they are unaware about what you're doing, and you have to do a ton of education to them, then it's going to feel really overwhelming for you. So be very conscious of the fact that it's all about, let me see, I'll read this in a minute. It's all about swimming downstream instead of upstream. If you have to, teach them about what spirituality even is, or what mindfulness is, or, what yoga and the benefits of yoga, then that might be a little, you're going to be swimming upstream. So you want to try to attract the people that already know that they have these problems. Swim downstream. Okay. That's way more lucrative. Let's see. How do you pick a title for your niche? Not really sure what you mean by title. So if you could clarify that a little bit, but I think I might understand, but make sure that you clarify that in case I don't explain it correctly. So niching down is all about, like I said, being an empath, right? So you are going to be a very strong empath and really pick the right ideal client if you understand their beliefs, their struggles, their problems, and their identity. Okay. So how do your people identify themselves as, right? So what are their identity statements to themselves? That's where do they identify as, for example, mine is like a lot of my clients, they know they're mystics. They know that they are spiritual entrepreneurs. They know that, and that's why I call them modern mystics, right? Because they identify that way. And even if they don't identify themselves as modern mystics, when they read that, they're like, oh yeah, that's me. Okay. So are they self-help junkies? Are they, do they consider themselves, yoga enthusiasts? What are their titles that they identify as? So that's really, really important. So I think that's what you were asking. Yes, that's great. Okay, great. Awesome. So, understand that there's going to be resistance when you're niching down. Understand that your niche is going to grow and expand and evolve as you evolve. So what you're looking for when you're launching is you're looking for a way to get started and to start helping people. Do not get stuck in perfectionism. It's never going to be perfect. Never. 70% is perfect enough. Okay. So it's never going to be perfect. It's always going to be an evolution. And the more people you help, the more feedback you get, the more you're going to be able to refine your messaging more and more and more. And then it just becomes, it's like a game. It's so much fun. And that's how you are always able to create new stuff. And then you're really living in your dharma, and it feels so abundant to create all of these new offers and to create new opportunities and to create new messaging. And that's literally what's so much fun about, being self-expressed goddess boss babe in the world. So again, get started and then grow from there. Okay. Let's see. I call myself a quantum wellness consultant, but do people even know what that is? I need clients to resonate with me. A quantum wellness consultant. Yeah. So that's a really good question. And truthfully, that is the question. Like, do your ideal clients understand what that means? And so one of the things that I always tell my students inside of the Modern Mystic Mastermind is that you want to pick clarity over cute or clever. Clarity is one of the most important things in marketing. You literally have a second to capture their attention. And I'm so glad that you asked, because people think, like, especially modern mystics and creatives and just heart-centered entrepreneurs, we want to be really cool and cute and clever. And this was one of my biggest issues back in the day. And that just doesn't work, because people don't understand what that is. If they don't understand what it is, then it's hard. And there's different levels of this as well. So I hope that made sense. Quantum wellness consultant could be something that people understand if they are already into the quantum philosophy. If they're not, and you're trying to bring them and elevate them into that philosophy, then you might want to pick something different that they already understand. Let's see. My peeps are conscious creatives, legacy leaders, and mission-driven souls. I like that. I love that. Legacy leaders and mission-driven souls. That sounds beautiful. Like conscious creatives. All of it sounds really beautiful. I would even get more specific than that. Conscious creatives. What does that mean? Legacy leaders. When I think of conscious creatives or legacy leaders, I'm thinking of like people in the boardroom who are leading big mission-driven opportunities and things. So, again, it's not really about how great it sounds. It's more about, do they feel seen, heard, and understood by that? That's the question. All right. So I will leave you with that. Have an amazing rest of your day. If you are looking to launch or scale your business, definitely set up an appointment with myself or my team for your activation call. And I would love to tell you more about the Modern Mystic Business Breakthrough. Okay. Till then, I will see you next week. Bye. Peace out.